So the final piece of why respiration and proper breathing will lead to restoration of your body has a lot more to do with just the simple exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide and efficiency for aerobic capacity as it does with really what's going on inside of our nervous system. The wiring system, the control center of our brain, and all the nerves innervating all the structures in our body. Again, in a single breath, we draw in trillions of molecules that are going to influence the health of our body. And the way we draw them in as we learn through our nose more than our mouth is way more effective in keeping our airway open so we have that flow, so we create that pressure. And the nervous system connection is super important because what you pull into your body, ideally through your nose, and how you take it into your body is going to affect that body's function. I hope that's super clear as a nose full of eucalyptus at this point. But there's a Dr. Nayak, who's a nasal and sinus surgeon at Stanford Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, called ENTs. And what he says is the nose is the silent warrior, the gatekeeper of our bodies, the pharmacist to our minds, and the weather vane to our emotions. And I thought that was a really cool quote that really encapsulates why the breath, particularly coming through the nose, can impact so much of our health. And let's dive into why. Because once you groove literally this automatic habit, which is automatic for us, but it's not automatic in doing properly. But once we groove that proper pathway to breathe, you can flood your body's tissues with oxygen. You can improve your digestion and immune system. You can flip the switch on your nervous system from sympathetic kind of fighty flighty response to a parasympathetic calm healing state, restorative state, clear thinking state. And that's where we want to be able to flip the switch back and forth. And sometimes we need to go into that sympathetic state. And this is how we can actually push the switch in that direction. And before we get into any self-checks of how we're doing with our breathing, we're going to dig into your nose. Not literally, well, kind of, because the science is really super cool on this. And we discovered, our scientists did, I didn't, I wasn't around a century ago, but more than a century ago, they discovered that our nostrils, they flare to the beat of their own drum. It's not synced up with our respiration. It's not synced up with our heartbeat. It actually runs on its own rhythm, which is super cool. I don't recall learning that. Maybe we did learn that in medical school, but I just learned that again recently while studying some techniques of breathing. And so again, there's no direct association with our heartbeat or our respiration. If you pull out your phone and you look at it right now, or you stare in a mirror, you'll watch and see that it's moving independent of those other things. So it's pretty neat. Another cool thing research has discovered is that the molecules that you channel in through one nostril or another nostril, the right or the left, is going to influence what happens in your body. Super cool stuff. So let's run through this. So think about your right nostril now. If we were to plug our left nostril and draw air in through our right nostril, it's putting like gas on the fire, right? If we're in a sympathetic state or we want to rev up our readiness and energy, we can do that by focusing on breath, drawing it in through our right nostril, because it's going to have more of an impact on our sympathetic nervous system. This is the fight or flight, get ready to go type of system of our nervous system. What else will happen in the body? Circulation speeds up. Okay, we'll be pumping more blood around. Our body warms up because we're moving that blood around. Stress hormones like cortisol will also go up. And blood pressure and heart rate will also go up in the same process. You are more likely to be alert and ready when you have that sympathetic system activated, when you're circulating more blood, and when you have that cortisol coursing through your veins. You'll be kind of ready to go, somewhat edgy even. And what it also does is it feeds more blood. Again, if we're drawing air up through our right side, influencing this right side, it's going to cross over and affect the opposite side of our brain. Specifically, this prefrontal cortex, again, that's associated with decision-making, language, problem solving on that side of the brain. So why is this important? because now we have a literal lever or a switch that we can use depending on what we want to use it for, right? So if we have the opposite side now, so now if we draw breath in through our left nostril by occluding our right side, taking a deep breath in through our left nostril, what we're going to see is that circulation slows down, the body cools down, the stress and the cortisol hormone reaction comes down. We're also going to see that blood pressure and our heart rate comes down. We're going to see a metric called heart rate variability that actually increases. So the variability between our beats is actually a good thing. And that goes up, not as tightly packed together. And we'll also see that our anxiety settles down. And the blood flow now shifts, like we were talking about, to the right side of the brain, that same prefrontal cortex over here. And those are the areas that are connected to creative and abstract mental processes. So when we want to be more creative, usually it doesn't come from a stressed state. It comes when the body's more calm. So it makes sense now with the blood flow that we're programming more so to this area of our brain when we do that. So we can simply pull those levers depending on what we need to do, depending on what we're trying to do. Are we trying to raise our sympathetic system up? Are we trying to raise our parasympathetic system up to calm the body back down? So the last interesting connection with this is that they found researchers looking at this, that people that are dominant left nostril breathers, people that tend to have this pattern naturally walking around, may produce more negative emotions, which is why you want to have this ebb and flow between the sides of your nervous system. So we don't always want to walk around with our nose plugged to just be in that chill all day state that we might be able to produce by doing this nostril breathing or one nostril breathing, because there is this ebb and flow back and forth between our sympathetic and our parasympathetic system that we need. But this is a very cool connection that we have, and a tool that is readily available and free to us to activate our nervous system in this way, simply through our breath.